welcomed my second daughter into the world. 11 o'clock or 11:06 she was born, and yeah, it was match day against Norwich. And after numerous phone calls with the gaffer, I ended up playing the game, so it was a bit of a hectic day really. I was at the hospital from 2 o'clock in the morning, so I had about 3 hours kip. And luckily, the baby came healthy and happy, and after it had all calmed down, your emotions are through the roof, and I think it was the adrenaline that got me through the game. I remember texting him about 7:30 saying, "Gaffer, I've been in labour for this long, don't think I'm going to make the game." And he said, "Call me when you can." So I went out the room and called him, and that's when he said, "Listen, if you can make 2 o'clock, 2:15, just keep me updated." So he wasn't being pushy, but he just kept giving me the biggest opportunity. And then obviously little Nelly was born, all good. Rang him and he said we had to be at the training ground for 12. It was about 11:30. Training ground was an hour away, and that's when he said, "Listen, make it for 2:15 if you're happy to play." Little Nelly was all fine, everything was good, and 3 hours sleep and 4 black coffees. I rushed to Ewood, and I haven't really spoke to my missus about it, so I don't really know how she feels about me actually leaving. But a lot of people were like, "Wow, I can't believe you've come," and it just shows a bit of good dedication. I was there for the birth and I made the game. I didn't cry with my first kid. I cried like a baby on my second, which was strange, and I think it was just no sleep and all the coffee. And after a while, after things settled down, I ended up going, which I never thought I would. I remember ringing my agent on the way, and he was laughing, and it was like, looking back, it's a crazy decision. First 2 minutes of the game after one sprint, I realised that I was playing on adrenaline because I was absolutely exhausted. People would say, with your first, it's sort of you just wing it. You don't really know. I remember having the baby, staying in for the week, and bringing Winter home, and it was just like me and my partner now, and it was like, well, how do we deal with this then? Birth was a little bit more traumatic for my missus. She had forceps, so they had to. There wasn't a problem with the baby, but the baby was just being sick, and they just weren't comfortable with her leaving. And I sort of made the decision then that I wasn't. She was in hospital for a further week after giving birth, and my missus was the same. And I just made the decision that I wasn't gonna leave her side or Winter, my little girl's side. And I would have done the same with Nelly. If the birth was the same, and if she had problems, it was, football is the least important when it comes to family and giving birth. So it was just a case of having to double check Winter. So I stayed in with my missus and her, because obviously I was at Peterborough in the Championship and we needed to win games, and I missed a great game at Derby, and I watched it while we were in the hospital. And it's tough because you want to be involved in these games. You do think you're going to lose your place, which is what football's all about. If you're absent for a game, someone can come in and do well and score, and you will lose your place. But you can't really worry about that when it comes to childbirth and things out of your control. Before my first, I wouldn't even probably have known how to hold a baby, let alone how to let them sleep and how to let them rest. So it was just important when I spoke to Blackburn about sort of getting that forward, because it's important to see how they sleep, because like I said, I wouldn't have a clue how to do it, so it's important for others to know.